ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to my 100th YouTube video. To celebrate my 100th video, I'm here to finally answer your questions that I asked for back when my hair was still long. Excuse time. I kept putting off this video because I was going to do all kinds of fancy editing and planning, and it just kept getting put off. I figure you guys love me enough to put up with a simple video with no fancy editing, right? So these questions are in no particular order or categories. I'm just going to begin. The first question is from SAR1386. When I click your Goodreads tab, it takes me to some guy named Allie Goodness page. How come? This has been pointed out before and the link was bad, and some of my older videos will probably still have a bad link, but the link should be good now. So if you ever want to find me at Goodreads, it's just goodreads.com/readsusieread. Thanks for the heads up. The next question comes from Amanda Giuliano, and it is, when I first started booktubing, I was a bit embarrassed to tell people I do reviews and such, afraid of them judging me. Have you experienced this, and how do you deal? A lot of people I know in real life watch my videos, and I just come to the point in my life where if it's something I enjoy doing, if they want to judge me for it, that's their prerogative, and I don't care. So if you like making booktube videos, then you should keep doing it and not worry about what other people think about it. Priscillable at the Readables asked my favorite underrated book, and that would have to be The Casual Vacancy by J.K. Rowling. It's got some really low reviews, and I really loved it. It was kind of slow, but it was slow in a way that built up characters and built up the plot, and I really loved it. It was actually one of my favorite books of 2012. And she also asked my favorite hot beverage, which I can't just pick one. I have recently become addicted to pour-over coffee, which is just a fancy way of making coffee. My favorite kind is this kind, and I like to put a sweet creamer in it, and during the fall it's this one, but right now it's this one. I also really like this brand of chai tea lattes. Oh, and peppermint tea. Hey, I Like Books asked, how tall are you? I am 5'2½". They also asked my favorite food, which is a really tough question, but my favorite type of food is probably Mexican food. I like beans and rice and chips and salsa and chips and guacamole, but I also really like a really good salad or sandwich. I just like food. They also asked favorite authors. I would have to say John Green, Stephanie Perkins, Rainbow Rowell, Truman Capote, J.K. Rowling, and Patrick Ness. I'm probably missing someone, so if I did miss someone, I'll put them over here. The last question that Hey I Like Books asked was my favorite store, and I'm gonna go with Barnes & Noble. My friend Jen over at Technicolor Moments asked, how did you get such a freaking awesome job? That's a cool story. I was actually an art student at the university that I now work at, and prior to graduating, you have to do a senior show that takes place on the second floor of the library that I work at now. And one of the librarians bought one of my pieces, actually my most expensive piece, and we kind of started a friendship from there. We started communicating on Facebook, and I was really kind of unhappy in the job situation that I was in, so every few months or so I would remind her to keep me in mind if a job ever came open, and when it did, she let me know, and I applied, interviewed, and got the job. Lisa Prigden asked, how long have you wanted to be a librarian, and what inspired you to do so? Well, I didn't always want to be a librarian. I was going to be just an artist with a side job, but I always had a love for books. Even when I wasn't reading actively, I always just felt right at home in bookstores and libraries, and I actually did a work study type of thing back in grade 8, but I always just found such joy in recommending books to people, even if they were books that I hadn't read. Side note, I'm not technically a librarian. I don't have the master's degree necessary to be a legitimate librarian, but one day, perhaps. Lisa also asked, do you prefer to read on an e-reader or a physical book? And it just depends on my mood. Sometimes I like the physical book, and sometimes I like the convenience of an e-reader because I can read in bed with the lights off, or I can take it wherever I want to without having to lug a bunch of books in my bag. But I always will love the physical books as well because there's just something really great about holding a book. The next question Lisa asked was, how many unread books do you own, physical and ebooks? According to Goodreads, I have 60 books that I own physically and 27 books on my e-reader. Next question comes from my dear friend Christy at One Book More, and she asked, I would like to know an example of a book that you liked better than the movie version and a movie that you liked better than the book it was based on. A book that I liked better than the movie, I'm gonna go with The Hunger Games. The Hunger Games movie was okay, but the book was just incredible. And as far as movies that I liked better than the books they were based on, I'm going to go with Extremely Loud and Incredibly Close by Jonathan Safran Foer, The book was really good, but I enjoyed the movie better. And Cloud Atlas by David Mitchell. Again, the book was really good, but I enjoyed the movie better. Christina Anson asks, favorite book of all time? I don't know. I want to say The Book Thief by Marcus Zusak, but I've only read it the once. Maybe The Fault in Our Stars by John Green? I really don't know. That's a tough one. And she also asked, do you have any pets? I would love to pick my pet up and show you, but I'm at my office, so I'm going to put a picture here. Isn't he cute? His name is Loki, and he is a Chinese pug that's almost 2 years old. Gaia Steinbook asked, it sounds very nice to be working for a library. Do you enjoy it? Short answer, yes. Tara K asked, did you go to college and what did you major in? Yes, I went to college and I got a Bachelor's of Fine Arts in Studio Art with a minor in photography. My friend Lindsay from Lindsay Reads asked, how did you and your husband meet? Well, we met at school through a mutual friend. It was either shortly before Halloween or shortly after Halloween. She had invited me to hang out outside of her dorm, and my husband was there, and I gave him a Kit Kat bar. Next questions come from my dear friend Jeannie at Adultish Books, and the first question is, what was your wedding like? We snuck up on the top of a building in our little hometown, downtown area at like 6 o'clock in the morning, and a friend of ours who had gotten ordained online did our marriage ceremony, and a friend of ours took some photos. If I can find some photos, I will put them here. Jenny also asked, what are your top 3 favorite lipsticks? And they are Revlon's Just Bitten Kissable Balm Stain in Romantic, and it looks like this. Revlon Lip Butter in Fig Jam, and it looks like this. And Revlon Super Lustrous Lipstick in Cherries in the Snow, and it looks like this. As you can see, I really like Revlon lipsticks. Unfortunately, they are not cruelty-free, so I'll have to find dupes for those in the future. Next questions come from Ancient Novel, and the first question is, if you were to give 2 books to a close friend and you had to buy the books with your own money, what 2 books would they be and why those particular books? I guess that was one question. And this is a tough one because it depends on the person. I guess an overall, I would probably give The Perks of Being a Wallflower by Stephen Chbosky and Looking for Alaska by John Green. I think those books relate to a lot of people, especially young people, and I usually have friends that are younger than me that are asking for recommendations, and I find that a lot of people my own age really enjoy young adult as well, and they're just very good and poignant books. The next question comes from Lucia Lorena, and she asks, how old are you? I am 25 years old, which is weird because I will probably always feel like a 17 or 18-year-old. Next question comes from The Shades of Orange. And her question is, how many people in your real life know that you booktube? And I would say that most people in my real life know that I booktube. Almost, I think everyone that works here at the library knows that I booktube, and my family does passively know, but I don't think that my family watches any of my videos. And I know that sometimes some of the people that I work with watch my videos. Benna Books asks, do you like to read alone or with a reading buddy or book club? I've never actually read with a full-on book club, but I like both. There are perks to both. I have been doing a lot of buddy reading this year and it's been a lot of fun, but it made me value my alone reading time as well. Time and Chance asked, how important is it to read the classics? And it's as important as you want it to be. I think that if you're reading for pleasure, you should read whatever you enjoy reading and not feel bad about it or obligated to read anything else. I think that there are some merits to reading the classics, but I don't think that you have to read the classics to enjoy reading. They also asked, what are your favorite places to shop that are not book related? And I really like shopping at secondhand stores and flea markets for clothes and books and other things. The next question is from Colleen, and it is, what is your favorite dance move? And please demonstrate. Here we go. It's called the pancake.
Yeah, I'm awesome.
My friend Nicola over at Robotnik said, why did you think we'd not want a Q&A video? Because I'm insecure and silly. Cheeky Cher asked, since you work at a library, what are some of the more unusual volunteer opportunities that may exist at someone's local library that they may not be aware of? Well, since I work at an academic library on a university campus, there aren't a whole lot of volunteers that come in. There's a lot of student workers, and I don't really know if there are any super unusual tasks. Like from time to time, there are lots of moving and shifting, for example, whenever we renovate, but maybe I just haven't been here long enough to know. Sorry. And the last group of questions come from Bohista Nordica. Tell what your hobbies are other than reading. At this current stage in my life, reading and making videos are kind of my major hobbies. I occasionally do some drawing and painting, but that hasn't really been a thing that I do a lot. Is drinking coffee while watching TV a hobby? They also ask, what is your favorite holiday and why? I would say Christmas, because I like giving and receiving gifts. It's just really fun. I like it a lot. She also asks, do you like to cook? And kind of, but I'm not very good at it. I mostly just cook things that don't require a lot of work. I like sandwiches and salads and pasta, which are all very easy things to make. Her last question is, you must throw a party. What kind of party will you throw and who will you invite if money is no object? And this is going to be really nerdy and probably totally expected, but I would probably throw a book club party, and I would just invite people that I have met from making my booktube videos and fly them out, and we would drink coffee and have a good time. So those are all of the questions that I'm going to answer today. If I left out your question, it was because I either answered it in another way or didn't really have a good answer to give you. I hope that you guys enjoyed, and if you want to ask more questions, you can tweet them at me or put them in the comments of this video. We'll see you very soon with a new video. Thank you for making this 100 video experience so awesome. Bye. My cleaning lady is gonna hate me.